Why?
New York City law.
Which law is that though? Do you know it?
I don't know the law. You want to probably call 311.
How do you know the law but you're in... Shut up. I'm buying blade. He never IDs me. And then he comes today and IDs me for a blade. And then he wants to call the cops and I ask him questions. It's amazing. This is amazing. And then he says if I have a problem with his store, just call 311. But the problem is with him, not with the store.
I need a police officer in my premise, in my store. 256 Grantham Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11206.
What's the emergency?
It's Malta and Grand. Sunwind Hardware. Sunwind Hardware.
This is sad, son. He's calling the cops on me because I asked him a question.
A customer refused to leave my store.
I already bought something. Remember that.
No injury, but I don't know if we have any weapons or not.
You just sold me a weapon. You just sold me a blade. What are you talking about? Jose? Go ahead.
What are you, Spanish?
I don't know. You tell me.
So he's the attitude.
I got to tell you my ethnicity? I'll wait for the cops, bro. No, this is sad. This is the problem with you guys.
The blue pants.
This is crazy.
Well, he's saying that I saw him a knife without an ID the previous time. I say, sir, if you have any problem, you'll call 311 and then they'll give you all information if you want to sue me or whatever. But he refused to leave.
Not this, not like a door closer.
Can you tell him, ma'am, that he already sold me a product? I have a receipt. I'm allowed to be here. This guy's crazy. This is crazy. Hopefully I get enough.
Okay. That's the gentleman over here.
Him?
Yes.
So what's going on?
Exactly.
Well,
You know what?
you talk to him first. You talk to him.
Why don't you talk to him and I'll talk to you outside?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do something on business-wise in the store. That's why I'm in here.
All right, but let me talk to you outside, see what's going on. I don't want to talk about two different things about the same thing.
I mean, I could wait for his story. I don't have to say
But
anything.
I'd rather talk to you outside. You want to talk to him?
No, I don't really want to talk to
So
you.
you don't want to know help?
I want him to talk first, and then I can talk to you afterwards.
All right, so then why don't you come outside then? That's how you want to act.
Perfect.
So what happened?
I'm going to talk to him after.
You don't want to talk to me now?
Nah, bro. It's a stupid situation. I bought something, and he's asking me to leave because I'm asking him more questions. That's retarded. Like, I'm already a customer. So how are you going to refuse service after the fact?
I understand you're a customer. We're trying to resolve the problem. I want to know what's going on.
I just told you.
We don't know what's going on.
I just told you. I just feel like it's crazy. Like, I came in here, I bought something, and then I asked him a question after, and he called the cops on me. It's amazing. Like,
Okay, so what did you purchase?
I mean, I can tell you after we speak. I want to hear his story, honestly. I just told you enough, bro.
I'm saying, like,
It's just annoying.
I just want to resolve it. That's why we're here.
It was resolved. He refused to resolve. He doesn't want to talk as a business owner.
Well, he's talking to my partner right
No,
now.
he doesn't want to talk. He says he's not talking to me.
A razor?
I bought a razor.
Okay. So,
That's what I'm saying. What's the problem?
well, he's saying you want to buy something.
I already bought something, and
Okay, so then what do you do today?
I tried to speak to him afterwards. He's refusing to speak to me, and then he called you guys, and I'm already a customer. That's what I'm saying. You don't know what I have to do with this particular product at this moment, and he called the cops saying that he don't know if I have weapons when he just sold me a blade.
He just sold it to you right now.
Yes, that's what makes no sense. How you
No,
see what I mean?
That's why I wanted to.
It's the problem.
We're trying to resolve.
I know. The problem is, right?
Okay.
You came here. You want to buy the razor blade.
You already bought it.
I know.
Exactly.
Listen. You went buy it, right?
Okay.
And then I asked him for ID.
I gave it
He
him.
said that why do you ask me for ID if the previous 2 times you didn't ask me?
Exactly.
Okay, and I say that, okay, it's my mistake. I didn't ask you, but I'm saying I have to see your ID. He said,
Okay.
I said, why you got to see ID? Is it the New York City law? I said, yes, the New York City law.
So what's the law?
And then he's saying that where do I call to complain? Where do I call to complain?
I actually went to law first. He
Okay.
shoved me away and said, "Get out of my store. If you want to complain, you complain 311." I said, "How do I complain? What is your business number? How do I ID your business?" And he said, "I'm not talking no more." And he started calling you guys.
Do you need to purchase anything?
So I wanted to do an actual exchange, but he wasn't speaking to
Can
me.
you
That's,
exchange this for him?
Why you want to exchange?
doesn't matter why I want to exchange.
Can you exchange, yes or no?
Yes, I got to do an exchange.
so
Yes.
let's do the
Let's
exchange.
do it then. Come on.
Adele, what you exchange?
I want to get into the long blades.
But they still got to see ID. Can see your ID?
That's fine. I already purchased. You already saw my ID. That's what I'm saying.
Hold on. Let's do this. Let's get the blade and then he'll give you whatever you
That's
ask
what I'm
and
saying.
then-
This is the
If
problem.
you're buying a
Here's
normal play, I still got to see the ID.
No, that's no
worry about
problem.
that.
I
We're
never,
here right now.
and I already showed you my ID. So originally, he thinks that he has more control than what he has, and that's the problem at this point.
You been
That's-
here before?
Yes, I live across the street, bro. Like
Right.
I come here every
So
week to buy
you
something.
might want to start finding some other
No, I don't have a
This
problem.
is how you're going to
No,
be.
It's him. These two particular gentlemen. I'm not gonna say anything about race, but they here and they're inflicting their own
Let's talk about
their own
that.
pressure. That's what I'm saying. It's like
Let's do this.
so.
What you need?
I need the long blades, the two-sided ones. I need two of those.
Two-sided, something like this.
Exactly. Thank you. You wasn't allowed to talk to me before. You don't want to talk to me.
Can I see your ID, sir?
Sure, no problem. So why must I show ID again?
Yes.
Why?
New York City law.
Which law is that though? Do you know it?
I don't know law. You only probably call 311.
How do you know the law but you're enforcing it?
All right, let's just.
That's what I'm asking though. It's not a big deal. I mean, you guys understand though.
Yeah. I
It has nothing to do with this camera. Yeah.
Is that what you want?
Yes, that's what I want. I want to exchange these two.
Okay.
You know, receipt if you need
This
it.
is $2.
That's
It's
fine.
25 cents a piece.
So it's 50 cents off the $2. $1.50 extra I owe you.
Let's see how much you charge you.
So you just witnessed me getting escorted, I guess, out of this store that I didn't want to be in anyways. And it's a huge disconnect between people of color or minorities and business owners. So basically, this hardware store has opened up about 2 years ago, right across the street from Williamsburg houses, right? Born and raised there, and I know before that hardware store there was a glass place that was making glass every single day. Well, every single day, but they were making glass for people, countertops, stuff like that, and that shit was there for my life. So I know history prior to them being there. And when they showed up, it was okay. It was a decent hardware store, and I kind of like, me. I like tools. I like doing stuff with my hands. So I always need a hardware store close by, and I always like the fact that, this particular store is right down the block. I only got to walk a block and a half to get screws and things like that. So that's what I would do. And first time I came in, and it was kind of, how can I help you? And they don't let you walk around, right? So I'm like, I'm looking for, this type of screw. Oh, I don't know what screw you're looking for. You gotta show me something. What size is it? Yeah, I don't really know the size. Sorry. I know it's a small studded screw. There's a million studded screws, and everything was negative with it. I said, yo, listen, you guys gotta help me. Like, if I don't know what it is, and I'm coming to you, and you don't know what it is, then how am I ever gonna get the product? The only thing I can do is describe it to you where you know something. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm trying to help. Da, da, da. And it was always like a negative rapport with them. They always were trying to force me. I never looked around the store, not once, I swear to God. Because every time I go in there, oh, how can I help you? What do you need? And they kind of like force you to stay in the front so you don't go walking around and stealing shit. They just grab shit for you and then they give it to you. So I get the concept, and it's a Asian guys, Chinese guys or whatever. And I got no problem with race, and that's why it doesn't even matter. The race card does not matter. But their upbringing does matter, right? And they don't come from a neighborhood like us. They don't know how people like us act or react to certain situations. And here they go, coming with their attitude that they think is okay, right? And it's not to certain people. And since they have a business, they feel like, oh well, I could do whatever I want because I have a business. And that's also not the case. So you gotta learn your laws, learn your rights, and eventually it's possible for you to kick people out and do it the proper way. But the way he tried to do it today, I taught him a lesson, honestly. He was so scared that he actually gave me $1 back and gave me free blades. If you guys don't know, and the cops was right there. And I said, hey, I want to do an exchange. I have cheaper blades. They were 50 cents each. And Mind you, the store doesn't even do returns. They only do exchanges. They don't do refunds, only exchanges. So I already knew I'm gonna do an exchange, and I'm gonna change 2 of my blades for 2 of the longer blades. And whatever job I do, I got the extra blades. So I already had that plan from when the cops would come in. And sure enough, the cops came in and they say, "Can you step out?" And I said, "I'm not done with my business." So everybody's just looking at me kind of like, "What do you mean not done? You already bought your shit." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I bought something, but I want to change it for something else." So immediately when he said, "Okay, well, sir, can you exchange this for this gentleman?" The guy looked at him and was like, "Well, yeah, but I need to see his ID," right? Again, and this is the biggest problem of it all. So he asked me for my ID to buy a blade. And I didn't know why. Basically every time I go there, he's kind of picking at things. When I was going there for the last 2 or 3 times, he picked on me needing to have a mask. "Sir, you need a mask." I'm like, "Oh, I don't got a mask. I just walk from down the block." "Oh, you can stand right there and I'll help you." "Okay, cool." Second time I come in with my face, my hands over my face. "Okay, you can stay right there. I got it for you." Third time I come in with a mask. And I guess they helped me regular. I don't really have any complaints about it. And then this is the 4th time, and I come with a mask from the beginning. And he had nothing to say, and he immediately said, "How can I help you?" And I said, "Well, I'm looking for some glue." And he said, "What type of glue?" It took me to a section that didn't even have the glue. So I'm like, "Well, I'm looking for a glue that I could glue a plastic piece onto a metal piece." And he's like, "What type of piece?" And I was like, "Well, I'm putting a plastic panel on a car." He said, "You're putting a plastic panel on a car?" And it just makes you feel like you're stupid, you know what I mean? I'm like, "Come on, bro, I'm putting a plastic panel on a car. Help me the best way you can," and that's it. So he's like, "Okay," and he walks to the front, back to the front where he was already at, and he shows me this compound or whatever it is, whatever adhesive. So I said, "Okay, cool, this works for me great, and I need some blades." And he said, "What type of blades?" And I said, "Well, the square blades. From whatever I know, they're blades." "Oh, there's a bunch of blades, what type of blades are you looking for?" I said, "Guys, I don't know, man. Like, I came here in the past, I bought blades, the blades that you have in a 100-pack that you sell individually, the small ones. I don't know what else to tell you. That's the blades I'm talking about." And he's like, okay, I got it. So he brings, "How many? Give me 5. Brings me 5, right? So as he brings me 5, he says, "I need your ID." So ID, for what? And he's like, "Oh, it's a state law." I said, "What law is that?" He said, "Sir, it's a state law. If you want to Google it, you could." No. I want you to tell me what the state law is because you're requiring me to show you ID right now. I was like, "Am I required to show ID because what? It's a blade, and so you got to make sure I'm over 21?" I'm asking. And he's like, "Yeah, we got to make sure you're over 21." I said, "What?" I was like, "So I got to be over the age to drink in order to buy a blade? I can't buy a blade at 18? "Sir, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't like my business, you can leave." "Excuse me? I already bought something. What are you talking about?" "Oh, I just called the cops." Bingo. There you go. That's what you fucked up at right there. I'll just call the cops. Right? And he had no shame in his game. I called the cops. I said, "Call him. I'll wait." He said, "Have a seat right here." Why would I sit down here? That doesn't make any sense. I don't get this at all. He told him to sit down like I'm supposed to be scared of the cops. Right? So he calls a number that he has in a book. And I guess the phone number is to like a sergeant or something that, whatever. So the sergeant doesn't pick up the phone. So then he calls 911. And 911 is saying, "Where's your emergency?" And he says, "Oh, is it the store?" Whatever the case may be. And then they say, "What's the problem?" He said, "I'm asking the guy to leave, and he's not leaving." "Oh, can you describe this guy?" And he's like, "I don't know. He's tall. He's wearing a black sweater." And the cops, they ask you, or the 911 operator asks you, is he black, Asian, Hispanic, or, So the guy asks me, he says, "Hey, sir, what are you?" I'm like, "I don't know. You tell me." Like, you call the cops on me, and you want me to tell you what's my nationality? That's all stupid to me. It's just retarded. So, whatever. Long story short, right? He ended up getting a taste of his own medicine, and he learned the lesson. I mean, he still said at the end, he said, I never want to see this guy in my store again." And I said, "Well, you can't do that. You can't tell me that right now. You can tell me that when I walk back in next time, and I have no choice but to leave, but you can't do that, you know what I mean?" And then the cop is like, "Yeah, it doesn't work that way. You gotta learn your laws." Da, da, da. And it was just funny because I walk out, and the cop was, cool. I couldn't record because my phone was dead. But the cop was cool. The cop was just like, yo, I didn't want to do anything crazy. I just wanted to have 2 different conversations outside. I was like, yeah, I get it, bro. I'm like, I'm not here to make a problem. I wanted him to understand what's he doing. He called the cops on somebody for asking too many questions. Right after you already serviced the man. It doesn't make sense. You look stupid, as a business owner, right? And he asked me to leave multiple times, and I understand the trespassing order. Yeah, you asked me to leave. That's after he asked me to leave, then it's a trespassing, which is true. But I was already a customer, and I still had business in the store, which he already agreed to when he gave me the first receipt. And he didn't understand that, So it was good to kind of use my my knowledge for good. Hopefully he learned his lesson. He takes it to heart. I mean, he definitely learned his lesson, but hopefully he practiced what he preaches, and they school him real quick. But definitely pretty cool, cool situation, and not cool. It's sad that it's happening in this world. It's sad it's still happening, but it's cool that I went through it and used my knowledge that I learned to actually come up victorious in that situation. So, I mean, yeah, whatever. He doesn't want you back in his store. I don't give a shit. There's more hardware stores. If anything, I'll make my own hardware store, bro, and get you out the business. But that's for the future, So, it was a quick little chat. Funny how the world is nowadays, man. It's sick. And I gotta make another video in a second on how YouTube deleted my video, man. I was so disgusted with that. But we'll talk about that. And everything that I'm saying is straight facts, man. And it's facts because it's my opinion. And I feel like they're right. I am not spamming anybody. I am not giving anybody any way to follow my lead. I don't need you to follow my lead. I'm just giving you my experience and showing you my story. So thanks for the time. I appreciate it. And watch the next one.